I found this mushroom in Kyoto Forest. I wonder if eating it will make me larger, or if it'll make me smaller, or maybe it'll turn me into Alice. There's only one way to find out. Oh, it's some stupid Mario shit. Baka! Ooh, ooh. Hey! Manga Tuesday. It's me, it's DRC, and welcome back to Manga Tuesday, episode 127. And today, I don't know why I'm talking like a fucking idiot. Today, because I always do. Today, we shall be reviewing Alice in Kyoto Forest. Can you even see the cover with the lighting at all? Probably not. Alice in Kyoto Forest. Given the title and cover, you might think this is some sort of manga retelling or adaptation of the story Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. But you would be mistaken. The book Alice in Wonderland actually appears in universe within the story of Alice in Kyoto Forest. The main character, this girl, her name is Alice, and she loves to read, she loves books, and one of her favourite books is Alice in Wonderland because she happens to share the same name with the character. It is not a manga version of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. It is its own story in its own right, but it is definitely inspired in some ways by Alice in Wonderland. I mean, obviously I would say, given the name and that, the creator of Alice in Kyoto Forest is definitely a big fan, I would presume, of Alice in Wonderland. There are some similarities, broadly, sort of, in the fact that it is a character that is sort of finds himself in a different sort of mystical, strange world. I find in the original Alice in Wonderland there's a certain eeriness and uncertainty as Alice sort of experienced these strange things that happen to her and these strange people she encounters, and I find there is also that sort of similar eeriness that is present, that similar sort of feelings of confusion and, did I say eeriness? Similar sort of feelings are felt, I think, as we follow our Alice on a very different journey, but a similar sort of vibe-ish. Our Alice was originally from Kyoto, but both her parents died, and she had to move away to a different city with some relatives, and her life, her home life there was not going too great, so she took her first opportunity to leave, and an opportunity does come along in which she's able to return to Kyoto, but the Kyoto she returns to isn't quite the Kyoto she grew up in. It bears a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of differences that start becoming quite apparent, and the place she has ended up is referred to as Kyoto Forest. Oddities continue to occur and things happen. And there's also a bit of somewhat of a romantic plot that becomes a lot more apparent the deeper into it you get. It's not a very long read, only 2 volumes long, and as I was reading, I really enjoyed the first volume, and it was halfway through the second volume that I started thinking, wait, is this definitely only 2 volumes long? Like, it seems like it's not going to wrap up in time. There's not much left. That was a big reason why I bought it. So I bought it in store, I saw it, and I mean, one big reason it stuck out to me was because I'm a big fan of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, so I was like, oh, interesting. And when I looked it up, it was only 2 volumes, so I'm like, oh, I can get both volumes here, and that's the complete series. It'll be a nice short little read. But yeah, halfway through the second volume, I'm like, hang on a minute, did I misread? So I went to recheck again, and that's when I saw that it was actually this manga was an adaptation of a light novel of the same name, Alice in Kyoto Forest. Then I got a little worried. I'm like, oh no, don't tell me I'm going to get to the end of volume 2 and it's going to end on a cliffhanger and be like, buy the light novel to hear the end of the story. Especially since, as far as I could see, there is no official English release of the light novel and no unofficial release. So this was very concerning. But then when I got to the end of volume 2, I found that was not apparent. It was just the end. It did end. It did have an actual ending. There was no cliffhanger. But the ending was a little rushed in a way that was definitely slightly detrimental to the series as a whole, I felt. I think if it was just one more volume longer, like if it was 3 volumes instead, I think that would have helped a lot. It would have just allowed it a little more room to just breathe a little, and the ending wouldn't have felt so rushed. Even with my problems with the ending, though, I did feel it was quite an interesting little read, and I enjoyed my time with it very much so. It wasn't mind-blowing or anything. It's not, I wouldn't go into it with super high expectations. It's just a nice, quaint little read. It was good, not great, not phenomenal. It's not a fucking 9 out of 10, but it's a solid 6.9 out of 10. That's my official rating. But when she arrives back in the city where she was born, she finds that Kyoto has changed quite a bit in the years since she left it. Almost as if it's a completely different world. And that, I think, that's few sentences sums up Alice in Kyoto Forest a lot better than I have over the course of the last 5 minutes where I rambled and tried to, None of you are going to read this, are you? I like the cover, and I like this blue, the colour of it, the spine. I don't know how accurately that colour is showing up on camera, but I like it. It's a pretty low-key manga. According to Mal, very under the radar. Not many people have read this, so there's a good reason for you to read it if you want to, be cool and, flex on all the other nerds. You can be like, I've read something that you haven't even heard of, man. I'm so cool and hip to the scene, bro. You're not on my weeb levels, you fucking fuck. I'm so cool. I know all the cool things. I'm so underground. This manga is super underground. You probably haven't heard of it. Alice in Kyoto Forest. You probably haven't heard of it. It's super underground. You wouldn't get it. You Berserk fans. You wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand with your mainstream Berserks and your mainstream Borutos. You wouldn't get Alice in Kyoto Forest. It's a little too low key. It's a little too nuanced for you. You wouldn't whatever. Can we just end the episode? I think, I clearly have nothing else to say. I mean, I probably did, but I probably just can't think of it, because when I get in front of the camera, I get really nervous. It's a scary place to be. It's a place where your mind can't think. What is going on? I kind of like Alice in Kyoto Forest. I would recommend checking it out. It's a pretty short little read. It's not a huge investment of your time. So especially if you are a fan of the novel Alice in Wonderland, or Alice Through the Looking Glass, then you should definitely check it out, because why not? Support manga! Anyways, I thought this review would be better than what it has turned out to be. I thought I had more to say about a manga like this. What the... can we just... Thanks for watching, and as always, I'm sorry.
It's just another Tuesday. And if you were in for a spell where it falls into an order, you can help that. Well, yeah. No.
Fuck, what episode number are we up to? Fuck.